We're here, and we're making movies.
I'm in North Dakota.
You're making movies?
Yeah, North Dakota?
Making movies.
In North Dakota?
Are you familiar with North Dakota?
You know those two fellas you put me in touch with up there in Fargo?
Fargo, North Dakota.
Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Bismarck, North Dakota.
Dickens.
Monarch.
Jamestown.
Williston. Standing Rock.
North Dakota!
I've been making movies myself lately.
In North Dakota.
Making movies is the most wonderful thing in the world. And North Dakota. Well.
I come from North Dakota, and bigger, better country you can't find.
All right, welcome back to the Film North Dakota Podcast, where we connect and promote filmmakers across the great state of North Dakota. I am your host, Matt Fern. Today, I am joined by Jessica Hayes. She's a casting director, actor, writer, producer. She does it all. And she's going to talk about her work on Pretty the Musical, Amal's Christmas Reunion, and Roommate, all short films filmed in the Midwest. And Pretty the Musical and Roommate just came off of a premiere at the Hello from Fargo Film Festival this weekend. So first off, thank you for making movies in North Dakota. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to make things where you are. Like you said, I also love North Dakota. It's gorgeous out here, and I would love to get more film out here.
So we talked a little bit before we hit record. You're born in Fargo, spent some time in Cavalier, North Dakota. Tell us about your background and how you wound up back in Fargo.
Yes. So family things took me up to Cavalier. My mom got remarried, so I was the dorky little new kid up in Cavalier, North Dakota. And to kind of break out of my shell, because I was kind of a social butterfly down here, I ended up getting into acting, and that drove me to just keep exploring filmmaking once I learned what that was in junior high, and we had our little VHS camcorders. So I've been just doing experimental work in film and really pursuing the acting end, because that's what I figured I could do. And it's going to sound cheesy, but as a girl, like, what else do? We didn't do the filmmaking. Now I know that, yeah, you can also do the filmmaking end as well. So,
yeah, I feel like it's been a great year for female filmmakers. Autumn, I forget her last name. She just won Best Cinematography for Sinners.
Yes.
And Chloe Zhao nominated for Best Director and Writer. So, heck yeah, leading the way. Sorry, sure enough for a man to interrupt a woman.
You're fine.
And talk about.
It's also your podcast. This is fair.
So you had that passion for acting. Now, you said it was kind of interesting starting to film, where you started as a casting director and then just started taking on roles. Can you talk about your first project? Because you didn't go to school for film or acting, right? What was your major in?
Well, I started. So I went back. The recent degree that I got was a master's in human resources, because you have to have a real degree and real job, in order to sustain your art around North Dakota, at this point, which I'm hoping to change in the future, right? But at this point, that was the direction. But I started out at MSUM, and that's where I met everybody, and I've just connected through the years through there. Ended up pursuing, the family end of things. And so when I finally had the opportunity to do HR, I wanted to veer into casting, and I saw this post by Zipo Matalda, and she was looking for a casting intern. So I'm like, all right, that sounds great. I'll get my feet in the door here on the production side. So working with her, I ended up becoming a producer as well. And just as you know, with indie filmmaking, it's a lot of grassroots and whoever's available to do whatever. And I was one of those go-getters that helped build that film, which finally, like I said, or like you said, just premiered this weekend, which was amazing.
I'm really pumped to watch that film and to have her on the podcast here. I did reach out, and hopefully we can talk soon. What did you learn from that experience here? Is that what led to the other one? It seems like you really, that one film led to a lot of opportunities. Or what did you learn from that first experience with Pretty the Musical?
Basically that it wasn't quite as hard to do the production or the producer side, right? Like, I'm not the technical end, right? I'm the person who gathers all the people, has a good vision. And I realized that was what I was already doing on the side anyway. I just didn't know that I could. So I think that's what I learned, like the confidence. And she really made me feel like, yeah, you can also do this, because if I can do it, you can do it. We just need the right people in the door. And as being a prior supervisor, manager, leader of people, it fit really nicely.
The one thing I've learned with filmmaking and other filmmakers I've talked to is everyone kind of feels like a fraud at some point of like, I can't really be here. I remember when I was in film school, I would say, I want to be a filmmaker, but I haven't done anything that good yet. And an established filmmaker said, you are a filmmaker, just say it, So it's awesome, that confidence. And I think that is a good lesson for people to take of, filmmaking is accessible to anyone. I think as long as you show up and you have a passion and you're considerate and do a good and you're good with other people, you are meant to be there. Now this also led to this film Roommate, which I believe you said you co-wrote as well. How did Roommate come about and how did the production of that go?
That was a tail end of working on The Pretty the Musical, and then Amal's was right in between. And the people that I was working with, really encouraged me. I had been talking about this script that I had written in college in 2020, and I said, Lynn Anger, the professor at MSUM, who I had written it with, like this was like one of those classes that you take that you're excited about as you're going through like your business courses that you have to take, right? And I got to take this screenwriting class. I was so excited. And Lynn was like, you need to produce this. It's a really good story. And I'm like, and he's like, no, I mean it. So I trusted him. And I always had that in my mind. And then when I got to this point where I had all of these amazing people, Emma Lolia, Ella Ladoc, Tyler Frame, Binfi Iwayemi, all of these folks said, yeah, you should do this and we'll help you. So they came on as producers. And then I told my husband and he's like, yeah, we can do this. Well, like we haven't done like a big event or anything before. We'll put some money forward for this and just skip going on some vacations for a couple of years or whatever. So yeah, that's how it started.
That's incredible. And shout out to all supportive spouses in the world here.
Right.
I know my wife, I've had many conversations. That's awesome here. You got that support from your husband and the community as well. And also from MSUM. I've heard a lot about MSUM here. I went to school the other direction. I went to school in Montana. Tell me about MSUM. What is the program? What do they offer? And do you think it's worth people's time to go there?
Hugely. I think that it's such an undertapped and affordable place to go with people that are so passionate about making students successful. And it's building. It's not just film studies. Like, I'm sure you know, but for your audience too, the film studies is everywhere, right? And you're just like watching movies and talking about movies, and you're not really like getting out there and doing the practicum and getting the competencies, right? So MSUM has sound design. They've got the animation. They've got all of these different little modalities that they're building in this SOMAD. I am so impressed. And one thing that they're starting to do too is build with their capstones how to work with other personalities. And I think that that's pivotal. So yeah, it's a great place to start. And from there, you get your BFA and then maybe go to your master's, somewhere bigger, once you've got, some experience, some credentials under your belt, and maybe be a little bit more affordable because maybe you can do some work on the side or something.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And that's a great resource for the Midwest. Another thing I think film does is you really find your crew in film school because you find a lot of people who are as passionate as you are in the craft of filmmaking, so much that is their major. And so not only the education aspect of it, I do think film schools are very valuable in terms of just the connections you make and the community you start building. I did jump over your other film here, Amal's Christmas Reunion, and that one sounds really interesting to me. How did that get about, and what was your involvement with that one?
So very similarly to The Pretty the Musical, I had seen an ad posted on one of the Facebook groups, right, to say we need a casting director. And I had just come off as a casting assistant and then, sliding into producer title, whatever, which by the way, it feels so organic how it happened, but like, I didn't feel like, you never feel like you really did all that much until you see it at the end. Anyway, so I got into that very humbly and I was like, all right, I'll help you out and whatever. And she's like, we're looking to get funding and things like that. I said, I'm going to do it no matter what. Like, I'm here just to learn and help you because I love the story. And we just built this network of people. She kept this woman. Oh my gosh, you should talk with Emma Lolia. She's overseas right now. Her father passed away, but this woman has so much drive and so much just effervescence that she got, I think, some of the most amazing filmmakers in town. She didn't know any of them to start, and she just started building this group. And from there, we built Amal's Christmas Reunion.
And what is that? Just making the circuit on film festivals right now, or does she have another project in the?
Both, actually. She's at the very end stages of editing, getting coloring and things like that, and making sure that the sound is perfect. She actually wrote all of the original soundtrack with Nishat Khan. He goes by Shadi the Beam, and he was the other lead. He's super sweet and amazing gentleman here in town. He actually did a film with Tyler Frame that showed at the Hello from Fargo Film Festival called Camp Minneshanka. Did the music for that. It's amazing stuff going on.
Do you want to continue the producing, the writing, get into directing? What's up next? It seems like you had a lot in a very short period of time.
Yeah. I have a show that we wrote with some of the cast and some other talent that is from the area. Ash Delooney and Vita Ghost were working on something called Stupid. They're also working on their own animated series. So I might help do some voiceover with that, hopefully. There's one called Hellions, one called Heroes for Hire. Both of them are like Cartoon Network worthy. If you take a look at those, it's fantastic. The level of work and I hate to say like at their age, but also like they've got so much room and so much longer to go. It's cool to see that coming out of the gate. And then I'm working up with a gentleman up in Duluth on an anthology series called Northport Story. And we're on episode 3 right now.
That's awesome. And are you involved as a producer on that project here?
Right now I'm on the board of the collective series, and I probably will work on set as an assistant director. I'm also assisting with casting and some grant work.
And now, is this your full-time job, or are you also doing HR work in addition to all this?
Yeah, my HR career is now in the talent end, which is amazing because I at least get to do like voiceover work during the day, videography during the day. But I do training, corporate training. So that's my day job.
That's so cool here. Let's talk a little bit about making movies in North Dakota here. Do you plan on staying in North Dakota, and do you hope for film opportunities to still be here?
I would love to. I saw that you guys posted for the looking for more people for the board, and I would definitely be interested to assist. I don't see why we are not making more movies here like Minnesota. I feel like we should get competitive. I feel like we should try to because honestly, we could also partner with them, but I say that tongue in cheek, competitive, right? Like we should try to steal all their people that want to go over there, do it cheaper over here, right? I know that we don't have cities over here, so it's tough, but with a lot of components that are in and available, you could build a film anywhere. You really don't need to be in the cities or somewhere big.
I agree. We were talking right before we hit record of Hollywood is not a place. I think filmmaking and media production is a very valid career for people in North Dakota. I'm glad you are interested in joining, and you're referring to Film North Dakota, 501c4, trying to educate, connect, and grow the film industry in North Dakota. And there's never been anything like it. And I think that's a good sign of the times of just, there's so many filmmakers where we're getting to the point where we need an association, we need a stronger voice. Filmmaking is a team sport, which you're a testament to. Every one of those projects you listed was not just you or not just one filmmaker. It really was a community. What do you think are the strengths of North Dakota here? If you'd meet a filmmaker out of state from another place, why would you tell them to come and film in North Dakota? What do you think makes this place special?
Well, I grew up here, so I am a little bit biased, but I think it's beautiful. I know that mountains are something that people want to see, but we see a lot of mountains, right? We've seen all the mountains. Look at all of the land, all of the farmland, all of the, even on the western side, there's just unique structures and areas. We've also got those small town rural communities that are so untapped. They would love to host them. My dad was in road construction, so we would go all over the state when I was a kid, and I got to meet every single person in every community, right? Because my mom was a talker, and so then I would come along beside her, right? And we would talk to all these new people, and they loved having new people in their town. They would welcome you, they would feed you, right? They would host your things. I feel like that there's a lot of like affordability that's in the area, but what's missing is on the other end, you have to get paid in order to quit your day job to be able to do this during the day when you need to start filming.
Yeah. And I think some of those towns, it's like time travel. You go to these main streets and it's like, looks like the 30s or the 60s or 70s hasn't been touched. It's like you're traveling in time. And yeah, they are desperate for talent, desperate for people. And that is something unique the state has to offer. Talking more about making movies here, what really got you excited for making films? Was there a certain film or a movie experience that really was the bug that bit you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, what got me into acting was a boy back when I was in second grade. So that's what really kicked it all off stupidly. And then just wanting to like, I have this need to make people laugh and make people feel good about themselves. And so I quickly fell, away from the little fellow that I was so interested in, and it was just bit by the bug of making people smile and making people laugh. I got into improv and did all that, and I got to do a premiere back in like 1997 with Tony Tilton here in Fargo. And I think who really got me into wanting to be in film was Jim Carrey, oddly enough, because I was following him. I'm pretty much basically Canadian. We grew up so close to the border. So I like to think of myself as basically Canadian. And he was one of the inspirations, as well as like John Candy and Dan Aykroyd and then later Steve Martin, all of those amazing actors. So I wanted to bring comedy and acting together. Although my film that I wrote was not all that funny. It was a little bit more of like a Canadian soap opera drama is what it feels like.
Like a Degrassi type thing.
Yes,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so interesting here. That's awesome. You had that bug for performing here. I hope you continue that. You got to put yourself out there. Very lucky to have you in North Dakota here, Jessica. Anything else you want to add here? Or anything else you want to talk about for making movies in North Dakota?
I'm trying to think. So Jason Bedard, I don't know if you know him, but he's a filmmaker from MSUM. He's been working in North Dakota for a long time. He has got the company Dead Horse Productions. He really mentored me in a lot of these things. And his basic, mantra was just go out there and do it. And I think I've heard that a lot, and it seems so simple. But like you said at the beginning, just if you think like a filmmaker, you are a filmmaker. So get out there, do it, respect the talent and the experience of those around you, and make sure that you're learning everything that you can from those mentors. And I feel like that I've been doing that, is just absorbing every bit that I can, and then trying to boost them up and, name drop them to everybody so that they can get hopefully recognized and compensated one day for it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome here. And yeah, I just looked up Jason. I'm going to have him on the podcast here. It sounds really, really cool.
He's so shy, though. He'll probably be like, him and Jordan were like on our film, Jordan Brorby. You might know him. So he went to Montana as well. But he's our DP that was on Roommate. They don't like to be like in the spotlight a whole lot, but like sometimes you can coax them. And I think you could. I bet you could.
I'll have to reach out. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. North Dakota's lucky to have you here making movies. And you really are just a ray of sunshine here for any production here. So appreciate your time and appreciate you making movies. And where can people connect with you? What's the best way to reach out and get a hold of you, Jessica?
I would say Instagram is probably the best starting point. And it's oddly enough, it's Einstein with Wings. Came because I watched a movie with Meg Ryan and Tim Robbins and Walter Matthau called IQ.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that movie.
He was on the back of his little motorcycle going, wahoo.
Oh, yeah.
So that was my email address, and it stuck.
Awesome. Well, awesome, Jessica. Thank you for your time. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Film North Dakota Podcast. This is brought to you by the new nonprofit, Film North Dakota. We are official. Consider being a member, learning about us. Go to filmnorthdakota.com or connect anywhere on social media. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and keep making movies in North Dakota.
Well, I come from North Dakota. the sun shines brighter and the country's wider than the sky. I come from